A warm breeze skimmed across the ocean as the private yacht cut through the waves, slicing a white trail toward the horizon. The teens lounged on the upper deck, drinks in hand, sunglasses perched, laughter echoing under the sun. They were the children of billionaires. Heirs to tech empires, fashion dynasties, hedge fund kings. And this summer was theirs. Kaya Island wasn't on most maps. A purchased paradise. No tourists. No neighbors. Just 12 acres of pristine beach, rainforest, and crystal-clear water surrounded by reef, and complete isolation. "Cheers to not seeing another human being for 2 weeks," said Chase, raising his glass. The others clinked bottles with him: Maya, the heiress to a fashion house; Leo, son of a luxury car mogul; twins Devin and Daphne, inseparable influencers; and Serena, quiet and clever, who rarely smiled but always saw too much. The crew dropped them at the island's dock just before dusk. A small villa waited inland. White marble floors, glass walls, stocked fridge. They had everything. "Storm's 2 days out," said Captain Ross, nodding to the east. "Radio if you need anything before it hits. After that, we may be out of range." Chase waved him off. "We've got Wi-Fi, drones, and food. What else could we need?" The yacht disappeared beyond the horizon. That night, they threw a bonfire party on the beach. Music echoed off the jungle. The waves glowed with bioluminescent algae. It was perfect. Too perfect. Out past the reef, something large circled. Unseen. Patient. Under the water, where the light no longer reached, it opened its jaw for the first time in decades. Rows of serrated teeth lined a mouth wider than the yacht itself. It was awake again. The next morning, the sun rose through a haze, casting orange fire across the waves. Leo was the first to dive in. He hit the water clean and surfaced with a grin. "Temperature's perfect." Daphne filmed him on her phone. "Can't wait to post this. It's giving billionaire core." Maya rolled her eyes. "You're literally filming with a waterproof diamond case. That's not a vibe, it's a crime." The group laughed, sprawled across inflatable loungers in the shallows. A drone buzzed overhead, tracking their movements. Only Serena lingered near the edge of the jungle, barefoot in the shade. Something about the water made her stomach turn. She couldn't say why. The current felt wrong. Tense. "Come on, Serena," Devin shouted. "We need our moody girl in the water." She forced a smile and stepped toward the waves. But just before her toes touched the surf, she stopped. A dark shape, long and slow, moved far out near the reef. "Did you guys see that?" Nobody heard her. Music was blasting from the portable speaker. Leo did a backflip off the dock. Laughter echoed again. The shape was gone. That night, Chase insisted on a night swim. Moonlight shimmered on the surface like mercury. The others hesitated, but one by one, they gave in. It was tradition now: second night, midnight swim. Serena stayed on the deck, wrapped in a towel, watching. She couldn't shake the feeling from earlier. Something was out there. Something that didn't belong. As the others waded into the shallows, she noticed something floating just past the dock. A buoy? No, too soft. Too ragged. She stepped closer and squinted. It was a wetsuit. Torn. Blood-dark stains across the chest. Her heart thudded. "Guys, get out of the water." No one moved. Until the scream. Daphne vanished in a spray of red. The water exploded as something massive surged upward and yanked her under with one clean bite. Bone snapped like twigs. The water churned with foam and crimson. The others thrashed, screaming. Chase grabbed Maya, dragging her back toward the dock. Leo scrambled out, hands shaking. Serena reached down to pull Devon up. But Devon stared blankly into the water, whispering, "Her leg, it's just floating." Panic tore through the villa like fire. Maya was hyperventilating. Chase kicked over a lounge chair. Devon locked himself in the bathroom and wouldn't answer. Leo paced like a caged animal. Serena moved fast. She checked the radio. Dead. No signal. No bars. The satellite link, damaged. Fried in the night storm. "We're trapped," she whispered. Chase turned on her. "What was that thing? A shark?" Serena nodded. "A huge one. Bigger than anything I've ever read about. It grabbed Daphne like she weighed nothing." Leo rubbed his arm where Coral had scraped it. "We have to leave. Now. There's no boat. There's always a backup boat." But the backup boat, a small inflatable dinghy, was gone. Only shredded rope remained at the dock. Dragged under. Or chewed. Morning brought silence. No birds. No wind. Just the hum of flies near the water's edge. The group sat in a loose circle inside the villa's main room, blinds closed. "There were bite marks on the dock rope," Serena said. "Rounded, massive. This isn't a regular shark. It's prehistoric. Older than records." Chase scoffed. "Now we're fighting dinosaurs?" Serena looked him dead in the eye. "Something like that." Maya clutched a bottle of wine to her chest, as if it could shield her. "We have to get to the top of the island. There's a weather station or something up there, right? A relay tower?" "There was," Jamie said. "It's on the cliffs. Half an hour hike." Leo stood. "We go now. Before it comes back." Serena whispered, "It never left." Out beyond the windows, the waves rippled gently. Just offshore, a tall dorsal fin cut the surface, and disappeared. The trail to the relay tower wound up the rocky cliffside in tight switchbacks. Vines clung to the crumbling path, and jagged rocks jutted from the soil like broken teeth. Leo led the way, machete in hand. Serena followed close behind with a handheld radio, praying it would catch a signal once they hit higher ground. Chase and Maya trailed behind, Maya still silent, her face pale and drawn. Devon stayed at the villa, claiming he was too shaken to hike. Nobody argued. They reached the top in 30 minutes. The tower loomed over them, rusted, tilted, but still intact. Leo found the power box. Batteries drained. Figures. Chase pointed at a set of solar panels half buried in brush. "Think we can jumpstart it?" "I can try," Serena said, already pulling cables loose. It took them an hour. When the small light on the relay box turned green, they cheered. For the first time, hope flickered. Serena keyed the mic. "Mayday, Mayday. This is Kaya Island. We are stranded. One fatality confirmed. Hostile marine threat. Repeat, we are not alone." Static. Then, a click. Another voice, barely audible. "You're not the first." Serena repeated the message. "Did someone hear us? Please respond." Static answered. Leo stared at the mic. What the hell did that mean? "You're not the first," Chase muttered. "What does that even?" The voice came again. Louder this time. "They always wake it." Then the signal died. The light on the relay flickered. Then off. The sky darkened suddenly, clouds rolling in faster than expected. "A storm." "We need to go," Serena said. "Now." Chase grabbed his pack. "What about Devon?" "He'll be fine," Leo snapped. But down below, in the surf, something breached. Something long and wide and unnaturally fast. Serena saw it. So did Leo. And when it dove again, the water boiled where it passed. The villa was empty. Doors open. Chairs overturned. A trail of red led across the marble floor and down the hallway. Serena found Devon's phone by the bathroom. Cracked. Still recording. She played it back. Muffled sobbing. Devon whispering, "She's still out there. I can see her in the trees. She's not dead. She's watching me." Then a crash. A scream. And the unmistakable sound of something wet and heavy moving across tile. Followed by a dragging noise. Then silence. Chase turned away, bile rising in his throat. Maya walked out of the house, barefoot. "Where are you going?" Serena called after her. Maya stared at the sea. "She's still out there," she whispered. "Daphne." I heard her voice. Then she stepped into the water. "Maya, no." Serena sprinted toward the water. Chase grabbed her arm, yanking her back just as the surface erupted. A massive gray shape launched upward in a spiral of teeth and foam, swallowing Maya whole. Gone in one bite. Blood sprayed across the waves. Leo fired a flare, useless. They backed away from the surf, breathing hard, soaked in salt and blood. "It's not just hunting," Serena said. "It's toying with us. It waits. Watches. It knew we'd come here. It wants fear. It used Daphne's voice," Chase muttered. "Used her to draw Maya in." Leo sat on the sand, shaking. "What kind of animal does that?" Serena looked at the water. "That's not an animal." They remembered something, the old caretaker's shed. Chase had joked about it when they arrived. "Looks like a murder shack." Now it might be their last hope. They broke the lock and found a rusted door beneath a tarp-covered floor. Underground bunker. No lights. It smelled like oil and wet stone. Inside, they found maps. Logs. Notebooks. One entry read: "Day 43, third team gone. Lost the boat. Creatures won't go inland unless baited. One got inside the cistern. Nobody heard it coming." Another: "It's not a shark. It's older. From the trench. It should not be awake. Then, seal the hatch. Burn the radio. Do not answer the voices. They are not your friends." They backed out slowly, hearts pounding. Outside, the wind rose, and a soft voice echoed over the beach. "Chase, it's me. Maya." Chase clutched the rusted bunker door shut with both hands. Outside, the wind howled, but beneath it came that same voice. Maya's voice. "Come out, it's okay now." Serena sat on the bunker steps, head buried in her arms. "It's copying them," she whispered. "That thing, it's using their memories. Their voices. Like it's learning." Leo was silent, staring at the stone wall. Then came the knock. Soft. Precise. Knock. 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 On the bunker roof. They froze. Leo whispered, "It's above us." Another knock. Then, scraping. Metal on metal. The beast was clawing at the hatch, testing it. Underground, Serena said quietly, "Isn't safe anymore." By morning, it was gone. They opened the hatch and peeked out. The beach was quiet again. Too quiet. The kind of silence that made your ears ring. Leo found more notes tucked in the caretaker's log. A rough map of the island. Places marked with red ink. Old pier. Cistern tunnel. Sea cave, low tide only. At the bottom, trapped beneath. Rises for sound. Drawn to memory. Serena traced the path to the cistern. It might connect to the cave. If we can reach that by low tide, we might be able to reach the reef on foot. Chase laughed bitterly. Or we die crawling through a sewer. It's better than waiting. Leo folded the map and tucked it in his waistband. Then we move before dusk. They passed the villa, now ruined. Windows shattered. Walls clawed. Devon's room soaked in blood and seaweed. They followed the path down the west side of the island to the old pier, half submerged and rotting. Why come here? Chase asked. To check the escape boat, Serena said. And it was there. Or, what was left of it. Half-eaten. The metal hull folded inward like paper. Teeth marks the size of machetes. Leo leaned over the dock, staring into the dark water below. How big do you think it really is? Serena didn't answer. Because down below, something was moving. Get back, she hissed. Too late. A jaw burst from the sea, latched onto the dock, pulled. Wood shattered. Leo screamed as a beam cracked beneath his feet. They ran. The cistern was hidden behind an overgrown path near the northern cliffs. A concrete bunker door. Inside, a narrow stairwell, slick with moss. The air was cold. Heavy. They descended with flashlights, the walls tight around them. The passage curved downward, toward sea level. The tunnel floor was wet. Tidal. High tide had flooded it recently. We're on a timer, Serena said. 2 hours, tops. The sound of dripping water echoed through the tunnel. But there was another sound, deeper, breathing. Chase froze. Ahead, in the black, something moved. A flicker of flesh. A scrape of fin against stone. Serena raised her flashlight. And the beam landed on an eye. The size of a plate. Reflective. Intelligent. The creature was in the tunnel with them. They ran. The tunnel twisted sharply, opening into a wider cavern where seawater rushed in and out in pulses. The tide was falling. A narrow exit glimmered ahead, lit faintly by sun. Go! Serena shouted. They squeezed through the gap one by one. Chase emerged last, just as the creature lunged. Its snout crashed against the rock wall, snarling through its chest like maw. Blood smeared the stone from old kills. The three of them tumbled out onto a sandbar at the cliff's edge. The reef was just beyond. So close, Leo gasped. Then Serena looked up. Storm clouds. Fast. And rising behind them, slowly lifting from the sea, the dorsal fin. The creature wasn't finished. It was just getting started. The sun vanished behind churning clouds as the surf crashed harder against the sandbar. Rain threatened, and the tide was rising again, fast. We can't stay here, Serena said, scanning the horizon. If the water gets above our knees, we're done. Chase was already scanning the reef, pointing toward a jagged outcrop. That ridge. If we make it there, we might get a view of the lagoon side. Maybe even flag a plane. Leo groaned, favoring a leg torn from the tunnel fall. What if that thing's still out there? It is, Serena said. But it's not always watching. It waits for fear. Motion. Blood. And we've got all three, Chase muttered. They started across the sandbar, water rising to their ankles. Halfway across, Leo stopped. What? He pointed. Something large, flat, and gray circled beneath the surface, silent as a shadow. Leo's leg gave out. Chase tried to lift him. Come on. It's gaining on us. Serena turned. The water around Leo was turning red. The cut from the tunnel. He was bleeding. No, she started, but it was too late. The sea erupted. The shark broke the surface like a torpedo, its jaws spread impossibly wide. The sound of the bite echoed like thunder. Leo disappeared. The spray soaked them both. Chase pulled Serena, screaming, to the rocks. They collapsed on the reef ledge, soaked, shaking. It was just the two of them now. The reef provided no safety. Slick coral, jagged ledges, and tide pools filled with strange, eyeless fish. They climbed upward, reaching a shallow overhang above the tide line. From there, they could see the whole western side of the island. It was empty. No boats. No planes. The storm crept closer. Chase stood on the edge, arms crossed, silent for a long time. "Everyone's gone," he said. "Daphne. Devon. Maya. Leo." "Not everyone," Serena whispered. "Not yet." Suddenly, the rock below Chase's foot shifted. Then, cracked. He slipped. Serena grabbed his wrist, just barely. Below him, the water churned. The shark was there. Again. Always. Serena pulled with everything she had. Chase scrambled up the ledge, panting. His hands were shredded from coral. "That thing," he gasped, "it's hunting us. Not like a shark. Like, it's playing." Serena nodded, tears burning in her eyes. "It doesn't just kill. It tests. Learns." A low rumble rolled through the rock. Thunder. Rain finally fell, hard and fast, soaking them in seconds. "Back to the jungle," Chase shouted. "We need cover. We need height." They scrambled down the reef's far side, into a narrow ravine leading inland. But behind them, through the crashing rain, a massive tail fin slapped the reef. It was following on land now. They found an ancient tree growing out of the rock, its roots wrapped around a cavern in the cliff face. Shelter. They slipped inside, panting, soaked, exhausted. Inside was dry. Almost warm. And in the far corner, bones. Dozens of them. Some animal. Some, not. Serena knelt by a broken piece of fabric, military canvas. A faded patch read, "Garcia, Noah." "Researchers," she whispered. "This place was studied." Chase found a metal box, sealed, watertight. Inside, flares. A rusted revolver. And a journal. He read the first page aloud. "If you're reading this, it's not a shark. It's a mistake. And you don't kill it. You trap it. You bleed for it. And then you run." Chase flipped through the pages. The handwriting became shakier with each entry. Day 4, 3 of us left. The others were taken near the reef line. Day 7, it comes on land now. Only at high tide. We thought that was impossible. We were wrong. Day 11, it's not hunting. It's defending. We woke it. The seismic tests shook its nest. Day 13, I hear voices in the night. Familiar ones. It mimics them now. Please God, let this journal be a warning. Garcia. Serena stared at the last line. They didn't bring this thing here. It was always here. And we just stumbled into its territory, Chase said. No, Serena whispered. We partied in its grave. Thunder cracked overhead. Rain pounded the trees. And from the ridge above the hollow tree, a shape stood watching them. It wasn't the shark, not exactly. A humanoid silhouette. Elongated. Barely distinguishable through the sheets of rain. Then it stepped forward, dripping wet, arms too long, legs wrong. Maya? Chase breathed. It looked like her. The hair. The profile. But her skin shimmered like wet rubber. And her mouth. Her mouth opened sideways. Serena grabbed Chase. Run. Now. They bolted through the trees, lightning flashing as branches whipped past them. Behind, the thing, whatever it was, pursued without sound. No footsteps. No breathing. Just that soft clicking sound, rising like a countdown. They stumbled into the old radio tower's ruin. The structure was half collapsed, metal warped from rust and lightning. But beneath it, they found a trapdoor, another hatch, leading down into a cold cement chamber. Inside, more bunks. More signs of long-gone researchers. A half-cracked hard drive still sat in the terminal. Serena tapped the keyboard. The screen flickered to life. A final recording played. This thing, whatever it is, doesn't stop. It doesn't age. It doesn't die. If it wants you, it will come. There is no rescue. Only bait. Only delay. The screen went black. Outside, something slammed against the hatch. The chamber shook as water poured through cracks in the concrete. The storm surge had arrived. The whole island's going to flood, Serena said. We're at sea level. Then we head up, Chase said, gripping the revolver. Cliffs. Tower Ridge. They burst from the hatch and scrambled up the hill. Wind ripped at their clothes. Salt stung their ear. They ran along the ridge as the ground trembled beneath them. Serena tripped. Chase caught her. Behind them, trees snapped as something huge carved through the jungle toward them, under the soil. This is it, Serena gasped. We can't outrun it. Chase looked at her, breathing hard. Then he handed her the revolver. You go. What? I'll draw it off. Don't. He ran down the slope, yelling, waving his arms. Hey! Over here. Come and get me. The forest exploded behind him. Serena watched in horror as the beast rose from the ground like a nightmare, jaws unhinged. And then it swallowed Chase whole, leaping and crashing back into the sea. Gone. Only the gun remained. The rain stopped all at once. Serena stood on the ridge, soaked and shivering. Below her, the waves churned in Chase's wake. He was gone. She turned slowly, gripping the revolver like a lifeline. Only one bullet left. Around her, the jungle bent in the aftermath of the storm. Palm fronds drooped. Water pooled in animal tracks far too large to be anything natural. She walked in a daze, not thinking, not planning, just putting one foot in front of the other. A clearing opened ahead. The villa. What was left of it? It looked like a memory. Shattered windows. Smashed furniture. A sun hat still hanging on the door. Maya's. And inside, dripping wet and hunched over the grand piano, Devon. Serena froze in the doorway. Devon? She asked. He turned slowly. His face was wrong, soft around the edges, almost melting. His eyes were wide and empty. I never left, he said in a flat, distant tone. I've been waiting for you. She stepped back. Devon stood, but his legs bent backward. A glitch in reality. His skin rippled like it didn't fit. It wasn't him. She raised the revolver. Devon tilted his head. You don't have to be afraid anymore. I already am, Serena whispered. And fired. The creature wearing Devon's skin collapsed, writhing and twitching. But it didn't scream, it laughed. A dozen voices all layered, all broken. Serena ran. She tore through the trees, no longer caring where she went. She needed height. Distance. Fire. A memory surfaced, the flare box in the caretaker's shed. She veered northeast, slipping down muddy slopes, heart pounding. The shed loomed ahead like a ghost. She yanked the door open. Still there. Flare gun. 3 cartridges. A pack of waterproof matches. A single can of diesel. Hope. And then she heard the growl. Not above. Below. The ground cracked beneath her. Roots split open. Mud boiled. And from the earth, like a birthing wound, the mouth emerged. No eyes. Just flesh. Teeth. Rows and rows of impossibly long, jagged teeth spiraling inward. The thing wasn't a shark anymore, it was a maw with a will. It lunged for her. Serena Dove rolled and slammed the flare gun into the ground for balance. The first shot hit the mouth's inner fold. The flare flared white-hot, and the creature thrashed, hitting trees, tearing the ground open. She screamed and ran, flares clutched to her chest. Toward the edge. The cliff stood above the sea, jagged and wind-blown. The last safe place. Serena soaked her shirt in diesel, tied it around the second flare, and held the last one between her teeth. She was bait now. She lit the second flare and threw it high. It screamed across the sky. A moment passed. Then the surf shattered. The creature rose, its body now part shark, part serpent, part impossibility. It surged forward in a wave, roaring in memory. Serena lit the third flare and threw it at the fuel-soaked cliffside. Explosion. Flames roared. Rock collapsed. And the creature went down with it. The cliffside smoldered. Serena lay near the edge, coughing, face streaked with ash. Her ears rang. Her leg was bleeding. But she was alive. Below, the sea frothed, reddened, violent, and still. Chunks of blackened flesh floated like seaweed. It looked dead. But as Serena stared over the ledge, something strange stirred in the water. A shape coiled through the debris, smaller, thinner. A second one? No, she whispered. No, no, no. She limped back toward the jungle. The fire may have killed the body, but the mind, whatever it was, wasn't alone. Serena reached the highest point on the island just before sunset. She was exhausted. Starving. Drenched in seawater and blood. But above her, painted orange and gold across the fading sky, was a plane. She waved the last flare and fired. A red trail arced into the clouds. She waited. The plane banked. And turned. It saw her. Relief broke her like a wave. She collapsed, crying. She wasn't alone anymore. She had made it. The helicopter arrived at dawn. 2 men in black climbed out, no insignia, no names. Their faces were unreadable. They didn't ask questions. They just checked Serena's vitals, slipped a blanket around her shoulders, and helped her onto the aircraft. Were there others? One of them asked. She hesitated. No, she said. Not anymore. The island faded below them, smoking, fractured, forgotten. But she kept staring at the water. And in one ripple far below, something followed them. Serena was taken to a decontamination facility on the mainland. Clean, white walls. Empty rooms. Cold questions. How long were you exposed to the subject? What signs of mimicry did you observe? Did it speak to you? She said nothing. She knew better now. Because the more you spoke its name, the more you let it in. The man across the table leaned forward. It's not dead, is it? Serena looked at him, expression hollow. No, she said. And it never was. Weeks passed. Then months. Serena changed her name. Moved inland. No more oceans. No beaches. She didn't sleep much. The clicking still came at night. But in the news, small blurbs started to appear. Fishing village in Baja, entire boat crew missing. Submarine drone lost off the coast of Chile. Oil platform evacuated after unidentified marine presence. Each headline ended the same way. No survivors. And somewhere far away, deep in the trench, a row of silver eyes opened. And another mouth smiled. Serena sat in a diner in a small inland town, hundreds of miles from the coast. She sipped coffee, watching the rain tap against the window. Quiet. Safe. Ordinary. But the radio behind the counter crackled. Then popped. Then made a sound she hadn't heard in weeks. Click. 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 Her hand trembled. The mug shattered on the floor. The waitress didn't notice. Neither did anyone else. Serena stared at the speaker. The sound stopped. But in the reflection of the silver napkin holder, a shape, something toothy, rippled behind her. When she turned, nothing was there. It came by mail. No return address. A box wrapped in black paper, sealed with wax. Inside, a single USB drive, and a photo. Her. On the island. Taken from above. The drive contained one file. A grainy video, drone footage. Timestamped 2 days ago. Location. Off the Mariana Trench. A shadow moved beneath a research vessel. Then another. Dozens of them. Each with the same shape, wide. Angular. With that same serrated tail and ghost-pale skin. Serena pressed pause. They were multiplying. She contacted the only person who had ever believed her, Walker. A former NOAA field agent. Off-grid. Conspiracy labeled. Real. He answered on the first ring. I told you it would spread, he said. You think what you saw was the alpha? Serena said nothing. He continued. The one on Kaya? That was a scout. A test feeder. Just like the one in Panama. Like the thing under that Antarctic rig. They wake in patterns. They echo one another. What do we do? She asked. You don't kill it. Then what? You bury it. Again. Walker sent coordinates. An abandoned naval facility in Alaska. Coldmouth Station. Decommissioned after a classified operation in the late 1980s. Serena met him there. Inside, old sonar logs filled the walls. Photos of black shapes. Warped skeletons. Teeth preserved in formaldehyde. It was never about sharks, he said. These things, they're not natural. Not really. They're biomechanical. Grown. Built. Or maybe evolved for something else. Sentinels, maybe. Predators by design. She stared at a preserved eye in a jar. It stared back. We woke them, Walker said. And now they remember. There was only one place to lure them all, Kaya Island. The epicenter. The place of first contact. Walker had a plan. Satellite sonar. Magnetic resonance bursts. Pressure cages. Seismic pulses to drive them in. And nuclear backup, if they failed. Your bait, he said. You survived once. It remembers you. It'll come for you first. The others will follow. Serena stood on the frozen airstrip, breath fogging in the cold. A transport jet waited. Kaya was out there. And beneath it, they waited. The jet touched down on a hastily cleared strip at the northern end of the island. It was like stepping into a memory Serena never wanted again. The air smelled like salt and fire. The villa was a skeleton. The cliffs were blackened. But the jungle had grown back fast. Too fast. Almost like the island was healing itself. Walker and a team of specialists set up base along the ridge. Drones buzzed overhead. Ground sensors were buried along the reef line. Motion-activated sonic emitters faced the sea. "We have 2 hours," Walker said. "After the burst, they'll come. We trap them in the trench." "And if they don't?" Serena asked. Walker handed her a trigger. "Then we blow the whole reef to hell." Serena stood alone at the old fire pit. She held a knife in one hand, the flare in the other. Walker's voice crackled through her earpiece. "Are you sure?" She sliced her palm. The blood hit the sand. A tremor passed through the earth like a shiver. Then a low rumble. It hurt her. She lit the flare and raised it above her head. "I'm here," she screamed. The sea surged. A dorsal fin breached near the reef. Then another. And another. Walker's voice came again, tighter this time. "Serena, you've got more than one." From every side of the island, the sea came alive. 6 shapes. Then 9. Then 12. Each moved with silent precision, coordinated. A school of monsters, not mindless beasts. "They're communicating," a tech whispered in Walker's tent. "They're hunting in packs." The largest one breached just offshore. It was longer than the yacht from that first night. Scarred. Half its face burned. The one from before. The original. And it saw her. Serena's legs buckled. "They remember," she breathed. "Every second." Walker's team activated the sonic array. The first wave pulsed from the sea floor, low-frequency sound designed to confuse and corral. The creatures reeled. Several dove deeper, confused. But the alpha, the one with the half-burned face, resisted. It charged the shore, jaws wide. Serena ran. She reached the base station just as the creature slammed into the rocks below, sending coral and sand flying. Walker screamed into the mic, hit the second burst, now. The second pulse was stronger. Sharper. Almost visible. Several creatures veered off. But the alpha? It climbed the reef. The reef shattered beneath the creature's weight. Walker fired a rocket, missed. Another tech was pulled into the water and vanished. The alpha lunged for Serena. She jumped, rolled, and landed hard on the deck beside the detonator. It stared at her. Inches away. One eye burned. The other, silver and full of hate. "Do it!" Walker shouted. "Now!" But Serena hesitated. Because in that moment, it didn't attack. It just watched her. Like it was waiting. Serena stared into the creature's eye. It didn't blink. Didn't breathe. Just waited. Its mouth didn't open. Its teeth didn't bare. She didn't understand, until she did. "They're not feeding," she whispered. "Not anymore." Walker was shouting in her earpiece, calling for detonation, for extraction. But Serena saw it now, the alpha wasn't here to kill her. It was learning from her. Watching her decisions. Waiting to see. "I was the test," she said aloud. Behind her, the other creatures circled like satellites. No attack. No noise. They had come because she called. And now they wanted to see what she'd do. Walker burst from the trees, rifle raised. "Move," he screamed. "Get out of the way." Serena stood between the alpha and the detonator. "I don't think they want a fight," she said. "Not anymore. Are you kidding me? They're monsters. They could have killed me, she said. They didn't. You said it yourself, these aren't dumb animals. They remember. They watch. Behind her, the Alpha dipped its head slightly, like it was listening. Walker raised the detonator. I'm not risking the whole damn world on a maybe. Serena said, then you already lost. The Alpha moved. Slowly. Gently. It backed away from the beach and submerged. So did the others. One by one, vanishing into the deep. Serena let out a long, trembling breath. But Walker didn't. He pressed the trigger. Nothing. Failsafe timed out, Serena said. Walker looked at her, eyes blazing. You doomed us. No, she said quietly. They were already doomed. I just showed them we weren't all killers. 2 days later, Serena left Kaya Island by boat. The Alpha never returned. Walker stayed behind, disappeared without a trace. Back on the mainland, Serena gave one final statement to the shadow agency that questioned her. I don't know what they are. I don't know where they came from. But they don't hate us. She paused. Unless we give them a reason to. They never contacted her again. But she received a file weeks later. Anonymous. Just coordinates. In the Mariana Trench. Where more were waking up. Now, when Serena walks by lakes, or rivers, or coastlines, she feels watched. She hears the clicking sometimes. Not in her ears. But in her bones. In every deep, dark part of the ocean, something waits. It remembers. It adapts. It dreams. And the next time it comes to shore, it won't be curious. It'll be ready. Because we showed it how. And we'll never see it coming. Until we're all ready. In the deep end. A year passed. Serena lived inland now, far from any coast. She rarely spoke. She didn't work. She didn't sleep well. Some nights, she'd wake up choking on salt water that wasn't there. One morning, she found fish bones on her porch. Arranged in a circle. Perfect. Precise. No one else saw them. But she knew what they meant. Something had followed her. A series of strange disappearances began near freshwater lakes. Hikers. Campers. A tour boat on a glacial river went radio silent for 45 minutes. When they returned, 3 passengers were missing, and 1 refused to speak. News never made national coverage. Serena started tracking the events on a map. Each point curved along a massive underwater range, one that stretched inland. She drew the line with shaking hands. The monsters weren't confined to the ocean anymore. A burner phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message. You were right. W. Attached, a photo. Walker. Alive. Standing in a bunker with walls covered in sonar screens. One showed a new signal, deep beneath the Rockies. Serena called the number. No answer. But 3 hours later, a black SUV pulled into her street. It waited outside all night. By morning, it was gone. Serena was summoned. Not in court. Not by police. But to a glass tower in D.C., one that didn't officially exist. Inside, a panel of silent men and women stared her down. You've been in contact, one said. With what? You know what. They showed her footage from naval satellites, vessels going missing. Drone submersibles torn in half. Sonar patterns shaped like moths. Is this a war? She asked. No, the man said. It's a reckoning. In Antarctica, a research team drilled too deep beneath a melting shelf. What they found didn't bleed. It whistled. Before communication cut off, one transmission slipped through. A single word. Coded in static. Multiply. Then silence. A week later, the station was gone. Only their shadows remained. Etched into the ice. Serena found herself on a forum for deep-sea anomalies. She didn't speak, just read. There were others. Survivors. Witnesses. A woman in Japan saw a smiling shark without a face. A child in Argentina heard voices in the drain. A diver in the Mediterranean saw a dorsal fin, on a mountain lake. The same symbols kept appearing. Teeth. Circles. Spirals. A network. A hive. One night, Serena's lights flickered. Her TV turned on by itself. White noise. Then the static resolved into a face, mouth stretched wide, black eyes, gills flaring with each click. No lips. But the message was clear. It was speaking now. And it knew her name. Walker reappeared. In her kitchen. "Did you open the package?" he asked. "What was it?" He placed a vial on the table. Inside, black liquid with something moving in it. It came from the Alpha. From you. You were infected. You still are. Serena backed away. Walker nodded solemnly. It's not just learning. It's breeding. Inside us. Serena underwent testing. Her blood was normal. Except, it responded to certain sound frequencies. Tissue reacted. Vibrated. Like it was waiting for instructions. She dreamed of water. Of teeth. Of mouths inside mouths. She stopped sleeping. And sometimes, when she looked in the mirror, her reflection blinked, wrong. She returned to Kaya Island alone. No crew. No rescue. Only her. At the center of the reef, she dove one final time. No gear. No fear. Just the voice inside, whispering, "Come home." As she sank, something reached for her from the deep. Not to pull her under. But to welcome her back. Because Serena wasn't a survivor anymore. She was part of it. And soon, the rest of us will be too. Serena let the weight of the ocean pull her down. She didn't struggle. Her eyes stayed open as salt burned them. Her heartbeat slowed. Her blood sang with that familiar frequency, click click click, rising from the trench far below. Shapes moved around her, gliding like shadows. Long limbless. Mouths closed. They were guiding her. She had come home. At the bottom, light pulsed from a structure not made by nature. Pillars of bone. Arches of teeth. A dome made of fossilized cartilage. The cathedral. She stepped inside, breathing water like it was air. Within, there were no creatures. Only statues, humanoid forms twisted into reverence or agony, mouths forever open. At the center, a mirrored surface. Her reflection shimmered. It was not her. Not anymore. In the reflection, Serena saw herself, but layered with translucent gills, blackened eyes, webbed fingers. She didn't flinch. A small creature slithered from behind the mirror, part eel, part embryo. It floated before her, pulsing with warmth. The seed. She opened her hands. It burrowed into her chest. And she didn't scream. She smiled. When Serena surfaced, the sky was starless. The island was gone, swallowed by a whirlpool that no satellite would see. She stood alone on a new reef, black and glossy like obsidian. Beneath it, thousands of bodies stirred. Not corpses. The next generation. They would be faster. Smarter. And they would speak. The world would hear them soon. Coastlines changed. In Oregon, an entire bay turned to mist overnight. In Norway, fishing vessels vanished with their crews, only teeth were left behind. In Brazil, children claimed to speak to the ocean, and it answered in Serena's voice. No one believed them. But the tides did. And the tides were moving. Governments acted, secretly. In black sites beneath the Pacific, sleeper programs were activated. Protocols meant to engage only in extraterrestrial threat levels. Project Echelon. They had known since 1973. Known that something waited beneath the crust. They just never expected it to wear our face. Serena wandered a quiet beach in Vietnam. Locals avoided her. Dogs barked and ran. Her shadow looked wrong in the sunlight. She didn't hide anymore. She didn't need to. Her skin shifted with thought, memory skin. It could mimic any shape it remembered. Any voice. Any pain. She found a mirror. Saw a girl she once was. And behind her, the ocean opened. Every deep-sea cable hummed. Communications broke down across 7 countries. Radio towers trembled. Pilots reported phantom sonar mid-flight. One diver recorded a sound in the trench before dying of a brain hemorrhage. They analyzed it. It wasn't just noise. It was music. And the melody spelled names. In a lab in Geneva, a child was born with webbed fingers and slit pupils. The mother had never left land. 2 days later, 6 more were reported worldwide. All identical. All humming the same tune. Scientists called it impossible. Serena called it beginning. Venice flooded beyond repair. So did Miami. And Osaka. And Cape Town. But there were no storms. No tsunamis. Only slow, intentional rise. As if the ocean was not reacting, but reclaiming. Those who stayed behind were found smiling. Eyes glazed. Voices chanting one word. Beneath. Fissures split in the seafloor near Iceland, Chile, and Papua New Guinea. Not from tectonic activity. From pressure. As if something beneath was pushing upward. In each fissure, black mist rose. Not smoke. Not steam. Breath. And in it, the sounds of thousands of clicks, layered, structured, almost like speech. Across the globe, televisions flickered on. No signals. No satellites. Just a face. Serena's. Her eyes were black. Her voice smooth, echoing, deeper than before. We are not here to conquer, she said. We are here to remind you. She smiled, impossibly wide. You were born from the sea. And now you return. The screens all shattered at once. Children disappeared in 12 countries. Not kidnapped. They walked into rivers. Lakes. Oceans. Willingly. Searches found no bodies. Only footprints in sand, and teeth arranged in circles. At night, some said they saw those children watching from the waves, eyes glowing. Still smiling. A submarine reached the bottom of the Mariana Trench. For 3 minutes, they transmitted footage of something enormous, a spiral of flesh and metal and bone, coiled like a living drill. Then came the eyes. Not 2. Thousands. The feed cut. No one answered their distress call. They were never heard from again. Serena stood on a cliff, watching the moon rise over the Black Sea. Behind her, a chorus of forms stood. Not all were human. Not all were whole. But all were hers. She raised a hand. And the sea obeyed. Because the world had spent centuries fearing the monsters beneath the waves. But now? The monsters were walking back to shore.